hear me better now. The idea today is to bring how centralized exchanges can help NFT markets to grow. So I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, how we came to this business, our approach on NFTs, and Biconomy, which is a global exchange registered in Canada, and what we're doing for the NFTs and NFTs projects to keep growing everywhere. I am the Chief Business Development Officer for Biconomy.com. We're registered in Canada. I'll talk a little bit more about Biconomy soon, but I like to share that I came into crypto in 2017, and I always felt like I was late to the game, and I needed to go to more events, know more people, learn, because it's a very long journey throughout this path. I came from international business. My view and our view of the company is always partnerships and growth. I worked with many projects with blockchain as an advisor and understanding tokenomics, but also the challenges that we as an industry we face and how we should help and validate each other. We are always deep diving into Web3 market trends, and this happens because we need to understand everything that is happening also here in Korea, in Asia in general, but Europe, Africa, and throughout Americas. And we do this by having local teams in each one of these places, because although we have the same understanding of the industry and the technology, each country, each region, each people, they react differently and they communicate differently. And I've been supporting Biconomy Labs since its inception in the market in 2019 to make these projects to be known everywhere. I am Brazilian, but I'm living in Canada, so that's how it's easier for us to carry and our local team to carry this knowledge globally. Oh no, I need to go back. Sorry. Jumping into NFTs, I'm not going to go into the technical details, as I understand that everybody has been listening about NFTs the whole day, and probably have better sources already in Korean to access. But for any technical or more in-depth approach, feel free to reach out with my contacts at the end of the presentation, and I can help. I can answer all of them. The thing that I prepared for today is that we've been talking a lot about non-fungible tokens, and the first thing that we need to pay attention to is it's strong because it's harnessing the power of blockchain. And the power of blockchain is being, since its inception, since the beginning, global, borderless, immutable, decentralized, and transparent. Sometimes I feel like we don't think about this enough. Sometimes I feel like the idea of blockchain being decentralized and the same access that somebody here in Korea can have to one token is the same that somebody in South Africa or another person located in Alaska. It's a very powerful thought. NFTs are not a new thing. They were described already in 2014 on Ethereum white paper. Vitalik Buterin was already thinking about it. Very fun and popular project was CryptoKitties in 2017. But the boom, the mainstream approach for NFTs came in 2020 through digital art and collectibles. And the two main examples that I bring for you today, and I think everybody knows them, is CryptoKitties. You can see the kitty in the corner. You can see the Bored Ape that Neymar actually bought. And why Neymar paid millions for that? Why we saw Beeple art being sold by 69 million in 2020. Why? What was the spark? And the spark was, well, if you look to the history of it, was basically NBA Top Shot cards. And the cards were a hard time to find, to be sure that you're paying an expensive price for the original card that would come with the original signature of your favorite player, of the best player of the match, to participate in that history in time. And Beeple Collectibles is a meaningful piece of art because it was sold by Christie's, which is an auction house that sold already Van Gogh and Matisse and very big names of art over time. Next steps for us to think of, and they're sure to come, and I notice our colleague already talking about play-to-earn games. So NFTs are already connected in games. They are part of it, and everybody that plays games will have an easy jump into what we call the blockchain verse, the blockchain world. I always think it's good to bring this chart to everybody to understand that we might always have hypes and we jump above our heads and have mania, but over time we might face a correction until we reach a plateau of productivity. And I see this plateau coming soon to all industries. We see big brands already having their own NFTs and getting their intellectual property registered, like Nike, Adidas. What we're looking to come into place next is NFTs being a part of our lives every day, and we will not even be aware of it. The examples that I like to bring are digital first. So we're talking about digital assets, we're talking about a digital track record of digital access to that. Without internet, without power, electricity, we will not have any of this technology or access to it. But also metaverse. People don't realize that metaverse are not necessarily VR glasses and walking in a 3D world that seems surreal. Virtual reality and metaverse will be the new internet. As we have websites every day, as every business, every service is accessible through a website, all these websites will become 3D and all of them will be some type of metaverse or a part of one metaverse that is out there. And the way that we're going to navigate these metaverses is directly connected to blockchain NFTs. This is the gateway. This is how you keep ownership of your digital assets. This is how you carry value from one metaverse to the other. This is how you connect from one website to the other, already 3D, already virtual. And this will starts with games, but we already see going through all these different social medias being translated and being exchanged among all these influencers. We see a great challenge on storage knowledge. Companies that carries decades, sometimes centuries of history of their product or the production line or everything that all their business creators and leaders built over time, they can't lose when these people retire. This needs to be inherited to the next generations in order to keep improving processes and services. The best way to have this and control this and to protect this, because we're talking about industrial classified materials, is to put it all on blockchain and create NFTs for that. And I don't know how strong this is here, but if we look in Americas, all over Americas, north to south, fake news is a huge problem for society. And what we need fact-checking. We need more services that can actually be sure that whatever is being shared is checked as reality. Once you check something, it needs to be registered in an immutable chain, therefore using, again, this type of technology. I think it's interesting to think of phygital, which is a new concept, bridging between digital and physical goods and services. And traditional examples that nobody stopped to think about, we used to have products with barcodes. Now we're talking about QR codes. What's next? We used to have serial numbers, and now we're going to have hash addresses. And soon to be, probably in the next 3 or 5 years, all our glasses will be some type of augmented reality, and we're going to be having conferences like this with people joining in through a hologram-like existence with their own glasses. And we'll be able to see animated different types of digital characters taking part in our days. This opens several doors to different types of approach in the market. Physical, the other thing that I don't hear people talking about many times is we are in a world of the Internet of Things, right? Now our fridge is already online and has several functions that help us have a better and an easy way on our daily routine because we're worried about something else. These machines need to talk to each other. They are starting to come with their own artificial intelligence. How do they state to each other their clearance? How do they assure each other who they are and preserve their digital identity? This is the technology that's going to power all of that. And then we bring this down to people, goods, and services with everything that is unique it deserves to have an NFT properly registered to that, to justify that my identity is mine and I can share the information as much as I want to the access that I provide. The same goes for authenticity and chain of custody. We've been talking about artwork, but also you can think about all medicines and medications that go through the world. There used to be 60% of counterfeit products. And imagine that somebody's life depends on that pill is a fake. So we need a certain way to leverage an NFT technology for this. Certificates of land, and I don't know if you have this here, but when it comes to agriculture, some lands are invaded or you have a dispute on where the fence should be, and neighbors keep fighting each other where the fence should be. There's a lot of tech to try to prove with GPS where it should be, but when it comes to paper registrations, people can fake them. We need to put in something that cannot be changed. And I've been talking a lot about this because, it's this one. Because all these industries, all these services everywhere in the world are starting to be disrupted. And disruption doesn't mean that we're gonna go to bed one day and wake up to an apocalyptic world or 20 years in the future. It just means that the things that we know as they are changing fast enough to a new approach. When I think about all these details of technology over these 5 years that I've been studying it together with our teams, that we try to understand the technical side, the technological side, but we also try to understand how people and markets will react to this in all over different countries that we serve. We always stumble upon the fact that the tech savvy, the early adopters, they are already here, and probably you are part of them because you're here ahead of most of the people. But we all have senior friends, my mother, my grandmother, our grandparents, our the neighbors at the end of the hall that they're not very into technology. How are they going to access all of this, and how can we make their lives easier to be able to enjoy all this technology that is coming in a very, very strong wave? And the way that we see this is to bring from a niche, from only tech savvy and people and the young ones, because of course you come already from the gaming, you're used to the stack, to having intermediaries that can bring all of them a better user experience. And that's what we are. We are all over bringing the right user experience to anybody. We want to make this technology useful to anyone without any barriers for them. Where am I in this text? And that's why we see crypto exchanges, centralized crypto exchanges, focusing on NFTs these days, because the whole idea and the whole hype and all the millions that were paid for all this digital art and assets, they're not going to be a real use case for those if people that don't understand it or don't have the time or don't have the background to learn it cannot access this. And with that, what we want to do is, we brought examples of the big names in the market, but of course, Biconomy as an exchange was launched in 2019. We have operation licenses in North America. We act globally. We issue licenses, we register anywhere that we need to in order to keep growing. Right now, we are all over the world. There's no place that we cannot serve, besides sanctioned nations, of course. We have reached just 500,000 of active users. We're very proud and to say that we're global for the fact that we have communities we're just reaching 200,000 members in these communities with over 20 languages. And the ability to have local teams that can understand complicated things, learn about a token, learn about an NFT, about a project, help these projects to network locally and translate to that local market in order to reach for new audiences is what we pride ourselves of doing. Our whole ecosystem is, we like to look at ourselves as a one-stop shop. We, of course, came into crypto from spot trading markets. The trading platform is one of the first steps that everybody will have into crypto. Natural advance for that is to be able to offer future markets. And we just launched, I'm going to talk into more details a little further, our own NFT platform. But we have everything that we need to incentivize each different region to have their local behavior. We have ambassadors program in over 22 countries, peer-to-peer trading to enable bridges directly between people in order for them to not depend on the system to be running separately. Launchpad, we're going to talk on by Economy Labs, and connecting them to the real world as they can onboard and offboard, on-ramp and off-ramp through business, their bank accounts or credit cards. We just launched a few months ago our NFT platform. I invite everybody to read this QR code and visit us over there. One of the main things with this NFT platform is some artists, they're not so easygoing with technology, but this doesn't mean anything about their talent. Talent shouldn't be limited for any of these barriers. So we launched a very focus on the easy and simplified use for creators to be able to come to our platform and mint their first NFT and bring their art or their concept for an NFT to our platform. And this can be already the first market that they're accessing, and they can bring whoever they want to sign up the platform and use, because this is as simple as most of the websites that we're used to or mobile applications. There's a huge challenge that will go next if somebody feels like, okay, now I learned the technology, now I have a good use for this, I want to go and be blockchain native, I want to be in 5 different networks. Then it's the next step. But the first step is to be inviting, is to say, welcome, join us, and to try using our platform. And that's what I invite all of you today. As you can see, seamlessly apply for a membership where you're going to describe what you're looking for and doing here. Add your own NFTs or mint your own NFTs and be ready to put a collection to be sold and invite everybody of your community to come and participate. But enjoy also all of our 200,000 people that are participating in our communities to give you feedback and tell what they think about your product, what you could improve, or if your art is sending the message that you want. Last but not least, by Economy Labs is one of our current focus on advising consulting for projects everywhere. And this helps a lot. This helps us a lot, leverage a lot these different teams. And this is one of the conversations that we're having here in Korea this week, is to talk to projects and market players to understand that you're powerful already here. You might have grown everything that you can grow in this country. Why not go borderless, go beyond borders, and start activating markets everywhere else? Because the solution that might be here, a country that is very well advanced in the use of this technology, might be a difference maker in any other countries in Latin America or in the middle of Africa. So we want to communicate all this new approach that was already battle tested in this market to different regions. Everybody wins. Other places get to know new technology and get to know how to get new results, and they stimulate their creativity, but also you grow more than your local markets allow you to do. We do this in several different ways, a lot of business conversations, criticizing models, thinking about the tokenomics, thinking about if there are the right incentives over there, of course thinking about the safety of this and if there's a risk to bring this type of solution to the market or which market and how to do this in a compliant way. We are second market, legal advice, I mentioned really strong marketing PR support. And we try to bridge our ecosystems and project ecosystems. I hope I was not too fast as I was going through all of this. It's a lot of concepts, a lot of ideas, but you will find much more information about everything that we do in our Telegram channel. We have already a Korean Telegram channel where you can discuss with your peers and you have people to discuss in Korean. You not depend on me in English. I appreciate your time today. I hope that we can exchange some more messages. You have my contacts over here. I'm open to discuss any topic related to this today. Thank you very much.
네, 바이코노미의 브레노 스프란디오님의 강연 정말 감사드리겠습니다. 네.